Have you ever seen a towering stone wave that never crashes? A forest made entirely of razor-sharp rock spires? Or an ancient civilization etched into stone, as if lifted straight from a fairy tale? In today's journey, World Mystery Wonders will take you through 25 of the strangest rock formations and geological wonders on Earth. Silent giants that have stood for billions of years, each holding a chapter of our planet's primal story. Are you ready to enter a world where nature defies all limits? Keep your eyes on the screen. The deeper we go, the more breathtaking it becomes. Let's begin. Tier 1. Bizarre rock. Marvels that seem like another planet. 3 whale rocks, the fossilized whales amidst Thailand's green jungle. Hidden within the dense green jungles of northeastern Thailand, 3 massive rocks lie parallel atop a mountain, resembling from above 3 whales swimming across an endless sea of trees. Locals call them Hin Sam Wan, 3 whale rocks. These unique rock formations date back tens of millions of years to a time when this area was submerged beneath an ancient ocean. Over time, geological shifts, erosion, and land uplifting gradually pushed the rocks above sea level, shaping them into their extraordinary appearance today. Remarkably smooth and gently curved, their surfaces enhance the illusion of whalebacks gracefully gliding across a lush green ocean. This spot is not only a popular check-in destination, but also a sacred site for local Thai communities, connected to the legend of a family of whales turned to stone, destined to eternally guard the land. To touch the whales' backs, visitors must trek through lush tropical forests and step onto the edge of the rocks, where no protective railing exists, only strong winds and sheer cliffs beneath. But once standing here, gazing at the distant winding Mekong River and vast forest stretching out like an ocean, you will understand why this place takes your breath away. 3 whale rocks is not merely a strange rock formation. It's a ticket back in time, returning you to a prehistoric era when whales swam ancient seas and nature was untouched by human hands. Mushroom Rock, Kansas's giant stone mushrooms. Amid the peaceful plains of Kansas, you'll encounter a scene straight from a fairy tale. Massive rocks shaped like giant mushrooms sprouting from the ground. Welcome to Mushroom Rock State Park, where nature performs a spectacular balancing act. These peculiar formations date back to the Cretaceous period, over 100 million years ago, when this region was part of an ancient ocean floor. Over millions of years, wind, water, and erosion gradually wore away the softer mudstone and clay beneath, leaving behind harder layers of Dakota sandstone perched atop slender, delicate stems. Some rocks feature incredibly thin bases, topped by massive heads weighing several tons, appearing as though they might topple over at any moment. Geologists describe this phenomenon as differential erosion, a process that takes millions of years to create such extraordinary shapes. Each mushroom here is a unique natural sculpture. Some resemble human heads, while others look like petrified creatures. Native American tribes once regarded this area as sacred land, believing the rocks were gods turned to stone to protect nature. Today, Mushroom Rock is not only a popular tourist destination, but also a site for scientists studying Earth's geological transformations. If you have the chance to visit, reach out and touch these giant mushrooms. You might feel as though you're touching millions of years of history. Tsingy de Bemaraha, Madagascar's forest of stone spikes. Imagine a forest where, instead of trees, Millions of razor-sharp stone spikes rise vertically towards the sky, stretching as far as the eye can see. Welcome to Tsingy de Bemaraha, also known as the Forest of Stone Spikes, one of Earth's most extraordinary landscapes. The word Tsingy translates to where one cannot walk barefoot in Malagasy, and it's entirely accurate. These limestone rocks are fractured into thousands of sharp spires, ranging from 20 to 50 meters in height, creating a majestic yet perilous stone labyrinth. According to geologists, the Tsingy formations originated over 200 million years ago when the area lay submerged beneath an ancient sea. Over millions of years, tectonic activity lifted the limestone layers above sea level. Acidic rainwater subsequently carved deep fissures, channels, and ultimately formed the jagged forest we see today, a rare and dramatic example of extreme karst topography. Despite the harsh environment, Tsingy is a haven for biodiversity. Over 80% of its plant and animal species are endemic, existing nowhere else on the planet, from small lemurs to peculiar plants that grow horizontally out of rock faces. Tsingy de Bemaraha is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and only the bravest visitors venture through its network of suspension bridges, caves, and steep gorges. It's a challenging journey, but those who undertake it are rewarded with the unforgettable feeling of stepping into a primordial world untouched by time. Goblin Valley, a playground of stone goblins in Utah's desert. If you've ever imagined a land where stone creatures from fairy tales stand frozen in time, Goblin Valley brings that vision to life. Tucked away in the remote deserts of Utah, this surreal landscape is filled with thousands of bizarre rock formations that resemble goblins gathering for a meeting under the desert sun. Geologists have traced these formations back to the Entrada sandstone, deposited over 170 million years ago, when the region was once a shallow sea and coastal plain. Over time, wind, water, and slightly acidic rain carved away at the softer rock layers, leaving behind short, rounded hoodoos with capstones on top, creating stone figures with whimsical, sometimes eerie expressions. What makes Goblin Valley unique is that no two formations are alike. Each goblin has its own personality, making it feel like you've stepped into a scene from a science fiction movie, which is why it was used as a filming location for the cult classic Galaxy Quest. Unlike many national parks, Goblin Valley allows visitors to freely explore, wander among the rock formations, and even climb the smaller ones, as long as the landscape is respected. Walking through this army of stone goblins at sunset is an experience that's funny, magical, and strangely meditative. A reminder that nature has a playful side too. White Pocket, a swirling stone maze from another planet. Tucked away in the remote desert of Vermilion Cliffs National Monument, White Pocket emerges like a dream in stone, a surreal landscape of swirling patterns and fiery waves of color, painted in white, red, pink, and orange. Standing here, it feels like you've stepped onto another planet. White Pocket is formed from ancient Navajo sandstone, laid down around 190 million years ago, when the area was once covered in massive sand dunes. Over millions of years, geologic forces compressed, twisted, and folded these layers, turning them to stone. Then wind, rain, and scorching desert sun slowly eroded the surface, revealing the extraordinary sculpted patterns we see today. Unlike nearby the Wave, White Pocket requires no permit, but it's incredibly remote and only accessible by high-clearance four-wheel drive vehicles. This isolation has helped preserve its raw, untouched beauty, far from the crowds. At sunrise or sunset, as light dances across the twisted formations, White Pocket becomes a dream for photographers, where every angle reveals a masterpiece carved by nature, both unreal and astonishingly real. Incredible, isn't it? Every swirl and ripple in the rocks of White Pocket seems to tell the story of Earth's restless movement over millions of years. Standing in this surreal landscape, you might feel as though you've stepped onto another planet. But don't look away just yet. The wonders coming up next will leave you even more amazed. Tier 2. Vivid geological colors and mesmerizing formations. The Marble Caves, Chile's mystical marble caverns. Hidden within the pristine wilderness of Patagonia, beneath the crystal-clear waters of glacial Lake General Carrera, lies one of Earth's most surreal sights, the Marble Caves. These silk-like caverns ripple softly, painted with mesmerizing hues of turquoise, silver white, and ash gray, as if nature itself had crafted a mythical world beneath the lake's surface. Scientists reveal that these caves are sculpted from pure marble, gradually carved out over more than 6,000 years by the erosion of glacial meltwater. Streams flowing from Lake General Carrera, with their slightly acidic nature and constant swirling currents, have delicately shaped the limestone into pillars, domes, and smooth rock walls, creating a breathtaking natural masterpiece. Remarkably, the colors inside the caves aren't static. They shift with the seasons and daily changes in sunlight. As the lake's waters transition from soft blue to vibrant turquoise, the entire cave interior reflects these shifting shades, appearing to breathe along with nature. The marble caves are inaccessible by land. Visitors must glide gently over the mirror-like waters by boat or kayak, carefully navigating through narrow rock passages. Deeper inside, sunlight filtering through the rock formations creates a crystalline world that captivates every sense. More than just caves, these formations represent a symphony of water, stone, and time, a vivid testament to nature's unrivaled artistry, where humans can only stand in awe. Zhangye, Danxia, Geopark, China. In the remote northwest of China, where sun and wind relentlessly shape the barren mountains, lies a land that has stunned the world. At Zhangye Danxia Geopark, in Gansu province, nature has accomplished the seemingly impossible, creating mountains painted with the colors of the rainbow, so vivid and mystical that it's hard to believe they're real. This surreal phenomenon was formed over millions of years, as layers of mineral-rich sedimentary rock were deposited and compressed by tectonic movement. Iron oxide gives the mountains their red hues, while manganese and copper minerals contribute shades of yellow, green, and purple, blending together into a symphony of color. Each mountain ridge appears like a massive silk ribbon dyed by time itself. On sunny days, the colors shift with the changing light, glowing at sunrise, softening at sunset, and appearing almost dreamlike under the moon. From above, the rolling hills resemble waves of fire stretching to the horizon. The terrain is not only extraordinary in color, but also in form, with sharp peaks, deep crevices, and sheer cliffs that seem sculpted by a divine hand crafting a world of its own. Locals believe this place was once home to the gods. Some of the mountains are named after their resemblance to animals, castles, or even human faces. as if each formation holds the spirit of a forgotten supernatural world, long asleep in stone. Today, Danxia is recognized as a World Geological Heritage Site. While science can explain some of the mechanisms behind its colorful formation, it is the mystery that remains which makes Danxia one of Earth's most remarkable wonders. A place where you don't just witness beauty, but feel time itself quietly flowing through every layer of rock. Iceland Basalt Columns, Iceland's stunning hexagonal rock pillars. Along Iceland's legendary black sands of Reynisfjara Beach and at the striking Svartifoss waterfall, magnificent hexagonal stone pillars stand in orderly rows as if meticulously carved by human hands. Yet, these impressive formations aren't remnants of an ancient civilization. They're nature's masterpiece, silently sculpted over millions of years. Iceland's basalt columns. Geologists explain that these columns originated from basaltic lava flows erupting around 2 million years ago during intense volcanic activity. As the lava cooled, it contracted and evenly cracked vertically, resulting in the formation of hexagonal columns, a phenomenon known as uniform thermal contraction. Remarkably, most columns display perfectly symmetrical hexagonal shapes, ranging from 2 to over 10 meters in height, closely aligned like majestic walls. These vertical cracks extend downward, creating thousands of natural pillars, resembling giant flutes rising straight from Iceland's rugged landscape. At Svartifoss, a crystal-clear waterfall cascades gracefully over the dark basalt columns, producing a captivating symphony of rock and water. Meanwhile, at Reynisfjara, relentless ocean waves endlessly crash against the hexagonal pillars along the shore, generating a scene so mystical that many believe it was once a fortress belonging to Norse giants. Today, Iceland's basalt columns serve not only as evidence of nature's power, but also as inspiration for art, architecture, and music, including composer Felix Mendelssohn, who drew from their striking beauty to compose one of his most famous symphonies. The wave rock, the giant stone wave on land. In the arid deserts of Western Australia, a surreal sight emerges. A giant wave of stone rising 15 meters high and stretching over 100 meters, frozen mid-curl as though poised to crash upon anyone who dares approach. Remarkably, it remains motionless, as it has been for more than 2.7 billion years. Wave rock astonishes visitors not only due to its enormous scale, but also because of its almost unreal beauty. Smooth rock layers undulate gracefully like silk ribbons, painted with vivid stripes of red, orange, yellow, and ash gray, seemingly brushed by a cosmic artist. Under the midday sun, the rock shines brilliantly like gold leaf, while at sunset, it becomes engulfed in dreamlike shades of purple. Breathtakingly beautiful. Geologists explain that wave rock formed through differential erosion between the hard granite layer above and the softer rock beneath. Over billions of years, wind, rain, and runoff sculpted this perfectly curved shape, creating an eternal wave amid the scorching desert. To the indigenous Noongar people, this is sacred land, the path where the rainbow serpent, the ancestral creator, slithered through, shaping the earth and sky. Therefore, the area is strictly protected, with visitors required to follow designated paths to avoid damaging the delicate rock formation. Wave rock is not merely a stone formation, it's a monument to time, artistry, and mythology, where nature showcases its supreme sculptural talent in a way that no human hand could replicate. Antelope Canyon, USA. In the Navajo Desert of Arizona, USA, There exists a canyon so narrow that only one person can pass through at a time. Yet it holds one of the most intricate natural masterpieces on Earth. This is Antelope Canyon, a slot canyon sculpted over millions of years by flash floods and wind-blown sand. The canyon stretches about 400 meters, but is only 1 to 3 meters wide at its base, with sandstone walls rising up to 37 meters high. It's primarily composed of Navajo sandstone, a type of rock formed from wind-blown sand compacted nearly 190 million years ago, during the Jurassic period. Rainwater and sudden floods carried sand that gradually eroded the rock walls, carving out smooth, spiraling curves, like fossilized flows of water frozen in time. But what has turned Antelope Canyon into a global phenomenon is its light effect. From April to September, sunlight streams through the narrow opening above, striking the smooth sandstone surfaces and refracting in dazzling patterns. This transforms the rock walls into shifting waves of color: orange, red, purple, and blue, as if the canyon itself is glowing from within. The phenomenon is so mesmerizing that photographers call it liquid light. In fact, one photograph taken here was sold for $6.5 million, becoming the most expensive photograph ever sold in 2014. According to Navajo legend, Antelope Canyon is the dwelling place of ancestral spirits, and the beams of light are bridges between heaven and earth. Those who enter are urged to do so with deep reverence, for every wall, every curve of the canyon holds a sacred story. Tier 3. Ancient strongholds and sacred stone sanctuaries. Uluru, the sacred rock of the Anangu people. At the heart of vast Australia, where endless red deserts stretch to the horizon, rises a colossal rock like the eternal heart of the continent. Uluru, also known as Ayers Rock. It is one of the world's largest and most sacred monoliths. Standing 348 meters high and stretching over 3.5 kilometers, Uluru encapsulates over 550 million years of geological history. It once lay beneath an ancient sea, formed from Arkose sandstone, a rock rich in feldspar minerals, before geological upheavals gradually lifted it above ground. Thousands of years of wind and rain sculpted and smoothed its surface, creating lines reminiscent of the folds of time itself. One of Uluru's miracles is its ever-changing color throughout the day, from vibrant orange at dawn to deep red at sunset, then turning dark purple as night falls. Under the sun, the entire rock appears luminous, captivating visitors endlessly. For the indigenous Anangu people, Uluru isn't merely stone, it's the soul of their ancestors, the origin of their myths and rituals. The caves surrounding its base still preserve ancient paintings, thousands of years old, narrating the creation stories central to their Chukurpa beliefs. Respecting its sacredness, climbing Uluru was permanently banned in 2019 as an act of cultural respect. Visitors are instead invited to walk around the rock's base, listening to ancient stories shared by Anangu guides. Uluru isn't just a rock, it's Australia's living heart, a place where nature, time, and spirituality merge into a symbol that commands profound reverence. Golden Rock, Myanmar. In Myanmar, there exists a natural and spiritual wonder that leaves every visitor in awe. The Golden Rock, also known as Kyaiktiyo Pagoda. This massive boulder precariously balances on the edge of a 1,100-meter-high cliff, gleaming gold like a floating jewel suspended in mid-air. What's truly miraculous is that it touches the rock surface beneath it with less than 20% of its base, yet it has remained firmly in place for thousands of years, defying all known laws of gravity. Recently, when Myanmar was struck by a powerful earthquake, many feared the fate of this seemingly hovering rock. But the result was astonishing. Golden Rock didn't move an inch, no cracks, no sign of instability. It is believed that the boulder is miraculously balanced by a single strand of the Buddha's hair, enshrined in the small pagoda built on top of the rock. According to legend, if that hair were ever removed, the rock would tumble into the abyss instantly. Because of this sacred belief, Golden Rock has become one of Myanmar's most revered Buddhist pilgrimage sites, attracting tens of thousands of devotees every year. From a scientific perspective, several theories suggest that the rock's stability comes from a low center of gravity, high friction, and stable geological conditions. Yet none of these fully explain how the rock has withstood the test of time and even earthquakes without ever falling. Beyond its impossible position and form, Golden Rock dazzles with its exterior of pure gold leaf. Over the centuries, hundreds of thousands of sheets of gold have been pressed onto the rock's surface, weighing in total hundreds of kilograms of gold. When sunlight hits it, Golden Rock glows, like a radiant golden torch standing tall amidst the sacred skies and earth. Cappadocia's fairy chimneys, Turkey's enchanting rock towers. In the legendary region of Cappadocia, where desert landscapes blend seamlessly with mountainous terrain like a painting, you'll encounter enormous rock formations with peculiar shapes, tall, pointed peaks atop slender bodies that resemble giant chimneys rising from the earth. These unique structures are aptly named fairy chimneys. Formed from volcanic ash erupting tens of millions of years ago, the area became covered with a soft rock known as tuff. Over thousands of years, wind and rain gradually eroded the softer layers, leaving behind harder rock caps that created the surreal and otherworldly chimney-like shapes. Geologists refer to this process as differential erosion, and Cappadocia is one of the few places worldwide where such formations can be observed on a grand scale. Yet the area's uniqueness extends beyond its geology. For thousands of years, people have carved homes, churches, and monasteries into these rock formations, creating vast underground cities hidden beneath the surface. During the Byzantine era, these hidden structures provided refuge for early Christians fleeing persecution from ancient empires. Today, visitors can soar over Cappadocia in hot air balloons, marveling at a fairy tale landscape where countless fairy chimneys glow in the golden light of sunrise. It's a place where rock, wind, and time have collaborated to build a genuine fairy tale world within our reality. AlUla, the ancient stone city of the Arabian Desert. In the heart of the arid northwestern desert of Saudi Arabia, AlUla rises like a forgotten world, a surreal landscape of towering rock formations sculpted by time, surrounded by the remains of an ancient civilization that once thrived in this harsh terrain. Geologically, AlUla dates back more than 500 million years, dominated by sandstone cliffs and monoliths that have been sculpted by wind and sand erosion into arches, columns, and towering pillars with fantastical shapes. Among the most iconic is Elephant Rock, a massive stone resembling an elephant gently bowing its head beneath the desert sky. But AlUla is not only a natural wonder, it is also home to the ruins of the Nabatean kingdom, contemporaries of Petra in Jordan. Dozens of tombs carved directly into cliffs, ancient inscriptions, and the remnants of old incense trade routes remain remarkably intact. whispering stories from over 2,000 years ago. Today, AlUla has become a premier heritage and ecotourism destination, where visitors can hike through red sandstone canyons, stargaze under pristine desert skies, and witness the rare harmony between eternal nature and ancient human ingenuity. Lena Pillars, the legendary stone sentinels of Siberia. Along the icy banks of the Lena River in Siberia rise towering stone columns, standing like ancient guardians carved by time itself. This is Lena Pillars, a natural wonder so surreal, it feels like the gateway to a mythical world made of rock. Geologists believe these formations date back to the early Cambrian period, over 540 million years ago, when life on Earth was just beginning to evolve in primitive oceans. Composed of limestone, dolomite, and shale, these rocks were sculpted vertically over millions of years by the combined forces of wind, frost, and glacial meltwaters, forming stone pillars towering up to 100 to 300 meters high. In winter, the scene turns almost otherworldly, as snow blankets the formations and the pale Arctic sun casts soft shadows, transforming the area into a frozen cathedral of stone and silence. In summer, under the northern lights, the rocks glow with golden and amber hues, a living painting born from deep time. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2012, Lena Pillars is not just a geological marvel. It's a library of Earth's early life, preserving fossils of ancient organisms that once swam through primordial seas. A place where time is etched in stone, waiting to be read by those who dare to journey this far. Tier 4. Primeval Traces from Earth's Earliest Chapters. Bungle Range, the giant honeycomb maze. In the remote wilderness of Western Australia, where the sun blazes fiercely by day and silence engulfs the night, lies a vast maze of rock formations that leaves visitors in awe. The Bungle Range. Here, enormous dome-shaped rocks, stacked like oversized honeycombs, sprawling over 450 square kilometers in the vibrant red desert. Surprisingly, these seemingly man-made structures result from 350 million years of geological evolution. The sandstone formations began as ancient sediments buried deep beneath the Earth's surface, which were then compressed, lifted, and sculpted into domes by millions of years of wind, rain, and erosion. Distinctive orange and black stripes cover each rock dome. The orange bands reveal iron oxide deposits dating back to Earth's younger days, while the black stripes consist of cyanobacteria, microorganisms thriving only in moisture-rich environments. These stripes form a mesmerizing natural pattern, as if the Earth itself had painted an artistic masterpiece upon the dry desert. Remarkably, the wider world only discovered this unique landscape in 1983 when pilots accidentally spotted it from above. Before then, the indigenous Kija and Jaru people revered it as sacred land, where ancestral spirits dwelled, their legends echoing through each crevice. Visitors must navigate red dirt roads, shallow streams, and dense bushland to reach this natural wonder. Yet the reward is unmatched, a scene unlike anywhere else on Earth. When the sun rises, its rays glide over each dome, illuminating the entire labyrinth in dazzling golden hues. As dusk approaches, the rocks transition into breathtaking shades of silky pink and purple. You can choose to trek deep within the shadowy gorges or take a helicopter ride to appreciate its expansive beauty from above. Whichever way you explore, standing amidst 350 million years of Earth's history will surely leave you speechless. Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland. Along the windswept coast of Northern Ireland lies a place where the very definition of nature becomes blurred. This is the Giant's Causeway, a majestic formation that, at first glance, might convince you it was built by an alien civilization. Nearly 40,000 hexagonal basalt columns, stacked tightly together with astonishing precision, stretch from the mainland out into the open sea. Varying in height, the columns resemble colossal steps leading into the ocean's depths. When the tide recedes, the entire scene reveals itself like a fossilized symphony, a melody that time began but never finished. According to Irish legend, the causeway was built by the giant Finn McCool, who wanted to cross the sea to Scotland to challenge his rival. But upon seeing the opponent's massive size, Finn panicked and fled. His clever wife disguised him as a baby. When the rival saw the child, he imagined the father must be unimaginably larger. Terrified, he turned back and destroyed the causeway behind him. From a scientific perspective, these columns were formed around 50 million years ago during a period of intense volcanic activity. As molten lava cooled, it contracted and fractured into geometric shapes, creating the eerily symmetrical stone columns we see today. Yet the unnatural perfection of their shape and structure still leaves scientists in awe. Whether seen through the lens of myth or geology, Giant's Causeway is a true symphony of stone and time, where nature doesn't just sculpt forms, but also ignites the imagination for centuries to come. The Wave, Arizona, USA. In the blazing, bone-dry deserts of Arizona, hidden among the red sands, lies a wonder that feels pulled from the imagination, a frozen wave of stone, curling forever in time. They call it the Wave, though there is no ocean, no water, only stone, sunlight, and the illusion of movement. Formed from Navajo sandstone over 190 million years ago, the wave is the result of wind and water sculpting the Earth's surface layer by layer. The swirling patterns of sediment curve like silk, winding in delicate spirals. Its colors shift with the sun, from fiery orange to soft rose, from golden earth to deep crimson, making the landscape appear as a portal to another world. Only 20 people per day are allowed to visit, and there are no clear paths, no signs, just a rugged journey through harsh desert terrain, guided by instinct and weather's whim. But those who make it are rewarded with silence, stillness, and awe. Before you lies a painting made of stone, so vivid it seems to ripple with every blink of light, as if a single touch could make the entire wave crash into light and memory. The wave is not a place to simply observe. It's a place to suspend your sense of reality and accept that sometimes beauty doesn't need to be explained. It only needs to be felt. Moeraki Boulders, New Zealand. On Koakohi Beach, located on New Zealand's South Island, you'll encounter one of the strangest sights on Earth. Perfectly round boulders, as large as cars, scattered across the sand as if they had just fallen from the sky. These are the Moeraki Boulders. one of the planet's most mysterious natural wonders. Each boulder is almost a perfect sphere, some measuring over 2 meters in diameter with smooth surfaces. A few have cracked open, revealing strange honeycomb-like patterns inside. When the tide rises and the waves gently lap around them, they appear like ancient creatures awakening from the depths of the ocean. According to geologists, these boulders are the result of concretion, a process that began around 60 million years ago, when minerals began to precipitate around an organic core beneath the seabed, similar to how a pearl forms inside a shell. Over time, sediment compressed the structures, and as the sea retreated, these giant pearls were left exposed on the shore. But the Maori people have a different story. To them, these stones are sacred relics from a mythical shipwreck. The water containers, ropes, and fishing nets aboard the canoe were all turned to stone as they washed ashore. For the Maori, these aren't just rocks. They are a spiritual link to their ancestors. Whether viewed through the lens of science or culture, every perspective makes the Moeraki boulders extraordinary. A place both ancient and alive, as if nature itself is writing its own language in stone. Bryce Canyon, the stone cathedral carved by nature. Despite its name, Bryce Canyon isn't a true canyon, but rather the eroded edge of a vast plateau, a place where nature has sculpted thousands of towering stone spires called hoodoos, creating a landscape that looks like a cathedral carved in shades of red rock. These hoodoos, formed from layers of sandstone and mud, deposited 30 to 60 million years ago, later uplifted along with the Colorado Plateau. Unlike most canyons shaped by flowing water, Bryce was carved through freeze-thaw erosion, where water seeps into cracks, freezes, expands, and slowly breaks the rock apart, repeating over 200 days a year. The result is a surreal forest of stone, where no two hoodoos are alike. At sunrise, the canyon glows in shades of crimson, orange, and pink, while in winter, snow caps each column, creating stunning contrasts between icy whites and fiery reds. Bryce is also known for having one of the clearest night skies in North America, attracting stargazers and astrophotographers from around the world. And for those who rise early, sunrise at Bryce Canyon is a once-in-a-lifetime sight, as if the entire valley is igniting in slow motion. Tier 5. Surreal beauty and landscapes beyond imagination. Tianzi Mountains, China. Rising from the heart of Hunan Province, China, is a landscape so surreal it feels pulled straight from a science fiction film. The Tianzi Mountains. This otherworldly range, with over 3,000 towering quartz sandstone pillars, inspired the floating Hallelujah Mountains in the movie Avatar. Some peaks reach nearly 1,200 meters, piercing through drifting clouds that swirl like ocean mist, creating the illusion of islands suspended in the sky. Formed around 400 million years ago, these mountains emerged from ancient sandstone, pushed upward by tectonic forces, and sculpted over millennia by wind and water erosion. But beyond geology, the mountains carry legend, named after a local farmer, Xiang Dakun, who led a rebellion against a corrupt regime and declared himself Tianzi, meaning Son of Heaven. Locals say his spirit still lives among these towering peaks. Today, the Tianzi Mountains are part of the UNESCO-listed Zhangye National Forest Park, a pristine reserve filled with lush biodiversity. Visitors can ride a breathtaking cable car that glides through the mist, offering panoramic views of the vertical cliffs and endless spires. A journey here feels like stepping into a mythic realm, where nature, legend, and cinematic beauty become one. Mount Roraima, Venezuela. Amid the mist-covered jungles of the Amazon, Mount Roraima rises like an isolated prehistoric fortress. With its flat summit seemingly sliced from the sky, this majestic plateau sits at the tri-border of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana, towering about 2,810 meters above sea level. It is a remnant of the ancient Guiana Shield, one of the oldest geological formations on Earth, believed to have formed over 2 billion years ago. Roraima is unlike any mountain you've ever seen. Its tabletop summit looks as though someone took a blade and carved through the sky. Sheer cliffs surround it, while thick clouds cling to its base, like a protective veil separating it from the outside world. At its summit lies a completely isolated ecosystem, home to plants and creatures found nowhere else on Earth, like the carnivorous Roraima pitcher plants, or tiny frogs that dwell only in ancient rain-filled rock pools. It's a world seemingly sealed off for millions of years. To the indigenous people, this is sacred land. According to the legends of the Pemon tribe, Roraima was once a giant tree that gave birth to all fruits and plants. When the tree was felled, a great flood swept across the world, and the mountain is all that remains. For explorers, climbing Mount Roraima is like stepping into a time capsule of legends, where every stone, every drop of rain, every gust of wind seems to whisper forgotten tales from a primeval Earth. Crowley Lake Columns, nature's ancient temple. Along the serene shores of Crowley Lake in California, hidden beneath cliffs by the water's edge, lies a surreal landscape. Hundreds of tall, straight stone columns lined up like pillars of an ancient temple. This isn't the work of ancient civilizations, but a fascinating masterpiece created entirely by nature. The Crowley Lake Columns. These stone columns stand between 4 and 6 meters tall, forming nearly perfect cylindrical shapes. From afar, one might easily mistake them for remnants of a lost civilization. However, geologists explain that these formations arose following a volcanic eruption about 760,000 years ago. When hot volcanic ash met the cooler waters of the lake below, it rapidly cooled, causing cracks along thermal stress points, a phenomenon known as convection cooling. Over time, water and wind eroded away the softer surrounding material, leaving behind these sturdy pillars, standing isolated in nature. This mysterious formation puzzled scientists for years, as no other place on Earth features similar columns formed in volcanic ash. Only through recent studies have researchers confirmed this as a rare outcome resulting from specific pressure, temperature, and humidity conditions following the massive eruption of the Long Valley caldera volcano. Reaching the Crowley Lake columns isn't easy. Visitors must navigate rocky trails and challenging terrain. But, upon arrival, you'll feel as if you've stepped into an ancient Roman temple, buried for hundreds of thousands of years, only recently revealed to the sunlight. Here, nature has acted not only as an architect, but also as an impeccable sculptor. Wahweap hoodoos, giant stone mushrooms in Utah's desert. Hidden deep in the arid deserts of southern Utah, the Wahweap hoodoos rise like giant stone mushrooms, their smooth white stems topped with flat brown caps that look almost alien. The landscape feels otherworldly, silent, surreal, and sculpted by time itself. Geologists believe these formations date back to the Jurassic period, around 160 million years ago, formed from ancient riverbeds and floodplains of the Morrison Formation. Over millions of years, Differential erosion between soft sandstone below and harder rock above carved these delicate towers, leaving their capstones balancing like umbrellas against gravity. Unlike the fiery red hoodoos of Bryce Canyon, Waaweep's hoodoos are a creamy white, glowing in the sunlight by day and shifting to silvery hues at dusk. The contrast between their color and the surrounding red desert creates a scene so striking, it feels like stepping onto another planet. Reaching them isn't easy. Visitors must hike over 8 kilometers, 5 miles, through the dry Waaweep Creek to reach the site. But the reward is solitude and stillness, and the chance to witness a fragile harmony between rock, time, and raw nature. To protect these rare formations, motorized access is restricted, and visitors are strongly advised not to touch the hoodoos, as even a gentle nudge can damage structures that took millions of years to form. Halong Bay, nature's living watercolor painting. Nestled along the northeastern coast of Vietnam, Halong Bay emerges like a breathtaking watercolor masterpiece, where ancient limestone mountains rise from emerald waters, winding like a mythical dragon across the sea. With more than 1,600 islands and islets, each shaped by nature's whim, some resemble turtles, others lion heads, sails, or even sleeping giants. According to geologists, Halong Bay was formed over 280 million years through tectonic movements and long-term erosion. Rain, wind, and the ocean slowly carved the ancient limestone into towering cliffs, mysterious caves, and hidden lagoons inside the islands. Beyond its natural splendor, Halong Bay is also a cradle of early Vietnamese culture, with archaeological evidence of ancient human settlements dating back thousands of years. And if you've ever sailed quietly through the misty bay at sunrise, you'll understand why UNESCO declared it a World Natural Heritage Site. A wonder not just to behold, but to feel with every sense. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this journey. If these wonders left you amazed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to World Mystery Wonders to continue exploring the incredible mysteries that await.